Hello, everyone. We had a couple issues with our Zoom today, so we are going to give everyone until 2 minutes after the hour to hop in. So sorry if you got kicked out a moment ago. We will get started at 2 minutes after the hour. Okay, we will go ahead and kick it off. Thank you all so much for attending today's Health Sherpa one-on-one agent account training. My name is Amber. I will be your host today, and I am with our agency account training and education team here at Health Sherpa. I'm also joined by my colleague, Niharika, who is going to be assisting us with questions. So thank you in advance, Niharika. Let's go ahead and get started. Today's webinar is being recorded, so if you registered for today's training, you will receive a copy of the training. You'll get a copy of the deck we're walking through together and a copy of today's Q&A discussion. We usually get all that out within about 48 hours of our training, so you can expect to have that as a resource moving forward. Please keep in mind tomorrow is a holiday, so give us a couple business hours to get that to you. If you are having any trouble hearing, feel free to just dial back in. Again, you are going to get a recording of today's webinar, so you will have that just as a final fail-safe. You're also welcome to contact agent support with any questions. Which leads us to another very important factor here. If you have questions, anything at all, pop them into the Q&A feature of our webinar. We're not going to be using the chat feature or a hand raise feature, anything like that. So any questions, anytime you'd like to ask something, go ahead and pop it in the Q&A feature. Niharika is going to be helping us out with that today. Any questions that we don't provide you with an answer with during the training, we'll make sure and provide an answer to your question when we send out a copy of the Q&A discussion. We also anonymize that, so don't worry, we're not going to share your name or anything like that. Okay, with that out of the way, let's take a quick 10,000-foot view at how this webinar is going to work. We're also going to launch a quick poll. It is totally optional. Feel free to participate if you would like. So today we're going to talk about Health Sherpa, what we do, how we do it. We know that you as licensed agents want to help people. So we're here to help you do that. We're going to take a dive into creating your account. If you haven't already done that, we'll talk about account setup as well. And then we'll dig into the platform. You're going to get to see an application, how to search the marketplace, plan selection, all of that. So you will know exactly what to expect. We'll also take a look at some of the extra resources you have at your disposal. And then, of course, we hope to get Q&A answered along the way for you. So who is Health Sherpa? Put simply, Health Sherpa is an ACA enrollment platform. We are built to make consumers and agents' lives easier. With Health Sherpa's enrollment technology, we're able to offer industry-leading training, tools, and support to connect agents and their clients to quality, affordable ACA health plans. With Health Sherpa in your corner, rest assured, writing ACA is not going to be near as overwhelming as it may sound. Now, because of agents like you, we had another really strong and successful year. This past year, we actually had more volume on our platform than healthcare.gov, which is kind of crazy, right? With about 9,000 agencies and 45,000 agents and brokers trusting Health Sherpa with their consumers' needs, we were able to help over 10 million folks get access to affordable care in time for Plan Year 2024, which is pretty incredible. Now, we all know applications can take, what, 30, 45 minutes on healthcare.gov? On HealthSherpa's platform, it takes an average of 7 minutes to complete an application, which is pretty amazing. Now, some of you may still need to set up your HealthSherpa account, so I want to just talk briefly about that process. If you do still need to set up your HealthSherpa account or create the account, this slide is just going to walk you through how to initiate that process. There's also a link to our help article that includes a short video walking you through the entire account creation steps, or all of the account creation steps, I should say. So just know that those resources are all tagged for you here. Really, the most important thing, though, during account creation is if you run into any snags at all, if you have questions, just reach out to agent support. We are happy to help you do this. You are not alone. Also, if you are part of an agency, make sure you work back with your agency administrator to ensure that you link up to their agency correctly, which you can do during account creation or afterwards. So they might provide you with a unique join code to link to their agency. But feel free to reach out to agent support if you have any questions about this. Now, once you have your account created, you are going to want to ensure that you have everything integrated and ready to go before you write any policies. So let's chat a bit about how you get your account set up. Now, we're going to walk through the account setup steps together, but we've also put together a nice little checklist for you. It's tagged right here on this slide. You can use it as a reference anytime just to help that make sure your account is properly set up. Whether you are new to our platform or you are a returning user, this checklist is honestly just a really great resource to reference at least a couple times a year. Make sure you've got all your T's crossed. So let's walk through a couple of these steps together now. A quick reminder too for anyone on the call who may have joined a little bit later, you will get a copy of today's recording, you will get a copy of the training deck, and a copy of our Q&A discussion. So any questions that you have, feel free to pop them in the Q&A feature of the chat. Also, what's cool is when we send out the recorded copy of today's discussion, you can also slow it down, you could speed it up, you can hop to different areas. So if there's anything that you kind of want to cover again at your own pace, you're welcome to do that. So account setup, step one. So step one is FFM account integration. Now, CMS requires EDE partners like HealthSherpa to use additional FFM account authentication for all agents and brokers. It's really just a security feature. So you're going to want to ensure that you have this set up and that you keep it refreshed, not only during open enrollment, but during special enrollment periods, right? During right now, right? You want to make sure it's integrated and good to go. Right now, integrations last for about 30 days at a time. So again, you're going to need to refresh it regularly. Good news is it only takes a second to integrate or to refresh the integration. So log into your account today, make sure you're good to go with this piece. It's really easy to do though. One super important call out here, CMS specifies that only you can log into your HealthSherpa account. Only you can ever use your CMS portal credentials, and only you can actually complete or renew this FFM account integration. So be sure not to share credentials at any time. Don't let your IT folks do this for you. Make sure you're the only one accessing your HealthSherpa or CMS accounts at all times rather. So you'll click on the integrate button, it'll bop you over to the CMS portal, you'll log in, and then that's it. It'll just bop you right back. So it's very quick and easy to do. Step two, EDE. So EDE stands for Enhanced Direct Enrollment. It's actually a CMS technology. EDE is what allows HealthSherpa to fully integrate on your behalf on the back end without having to redirect you over to healthcare.gov to submit applications. So EDE is actually what allows you to complete the apps in the average of only 7 minutes compared to that 30 plus. EDE is what gives you a lot more time to help a lot more folks. Now, with HealthSherpa's EDE, you can complete your applications right on HealthSherpa. You typically will have a higher client effectuation rate, oftentimes because of features that we include like document management, direct payment links. You also usually will have pre-filled renewal applications, so it'll save you a lot of keystrokes. And you can also view status updates, documents that have been requested from the marketplace. You can even view and print certain documents like those coveted 1095A forms, right? We just left tax season, so those are fresh on your mind. Eligibility letters, marketplace notices, it all lives right here. The fact that you really can do everything within HealthSherpa is pretty unique. Now, a really important caveat for EDE, you do actually have to turn it on, okay? So most of you probably already have this turned on, but anytime you log into your account, if you ever see this little Enable EDE button at the top, click on it. It's just gonna walk you through some identity proofing steps, and then you'll be able to access consumer information. So if you ever log into your HealthSherpa account and you don't see any clients or don't see any leads, don't panic. It may just be as simple as reintegrating your FFM account and then enabling EDE. Moving into step three, let's decide whether or not you'd like to participate in our referral program. What is it? Referring an application means that as the writing agent, you will write the policy for your client, but Health Sherpa is just going to become the AOR, the agent of record, and then you earn a bonus. That's it. Now, of course, since you are the writing agent, you are still required to be licensed, ensure that you're complying with any applicable state insurance laws, and of course, capture all consent, just as you normally would. But the purpose of the program is really just to help ensure that you are able to enroll clients in health plans based on whatever their unique needs may be. So this slide walks you through how to opt into the referral program if you would like to participate. We also have a help article tagged here at the bottom of the slide for your review if you'd like to learn more. Lastly, let's talk about your carrier settings. So your carrier settings page is the place you can add any states that you might be licensed within. You can add any appointed carriers. And if you have referrals turned on, you can set your referred carriers. Carriers do come and go from the market sometimes, so it's really important to check this page at least a couple times a year just to make sure you're good to go here. You can set up your carrier settings during account creation, or you can actually come to this carriers page after account creation and add your carrier selections at that time. So you can kind of do it anytime you'd like. Okay, we're gonna hop into the platform. So I'm gonna hop out of this slideshow and into our staging account. Let me open Q&A. Okay, and I see Niharika is on it. So thank you so much, Niharika, for getting those answered for us. Okay, I see Niharika is also listed as me. So I'm not in two places at once. Thank you, Niharika, for everything you do. So hopping into our platform, the first thing that I want to share with you is anything that we cover today, we're actually just looking at our staging environment. This is our testing environment. So when we start talking about clients and leads, I just want to quickly call out, there's no accidental breach of PII going on. The folks that you see listed do not exist. So don't worry. This is just so that we can all walk through everything together. So the first thing I want to do is kind of show you around, okay? On the left-hand side, you've got a bunch of things that look like tabs, right? We call these pages. Up here, you should see a logo if you choose to upload one. You'll usually see your name and your NPN. If you share computers in your office, sometimes you might see a different name and NPN. Oftentimes that's cache and cookies kind of following you around. So log out, clear your cache and cookies, and log back in if that ever happens. You also can start a subsidy application here or search the marketplace for an existing application. These are actually kind of the same menu options, so we'll go over both of those together in a bit. And then you can also quote. So this is really nice if maybe your consumer says, hey, I don't want to go through the whole subsidy app with you just yet. I kind of just want to see what's available. The quote tool is really nice to do that. It allows you to kind of show them what all's out there, give them an estimated subsidy, and talk about what they may want. Also, if you click the little drop down, if you have told us that you're licensed in a state where we offer off marketplace plans, you will also see this little drop down menu. So if you ever want to quote off marketplace, you can, or off X dental. If you hear nothing from today's discussion, though, please let this be the one thing you take away. This question mark with the circle around it, I'm going to click on that. This is where you can get a getting started guide. So if you're new to HealthSherpa and you just want a quick overview, give me a checklist, you can access that here. You can get to our help center. This is a running list of just frequently asked questions. So, we talked about how there's actually an account creation video, right, that walks you through the steps. If I go to the help center and just type in create account, that article will pull up and I'll be able to watch the video. So it's a really nice resource for you where everything is just kind of kept together. You can email agent support and you can call agent support. You see right now that we're online. You can also access this phone number right from healthsherpa.com. You don't even have to be logged in. So if there's ever something that you need and you don't know where to start, or maybe you're having trouble logging into your account, just give us a call. Let us help you. We are happy to do that. And then over here, the little gear icon, this is where you'll find that carriers menu we talked about. Again, the contact info to agent support. You can switch your dashboard into Spanish if you'd like, whatever you need. Okay, we're going to start with these little pages over here on the left. So over here is our home tab, our home page. This is a really nice starting place. Anytime it's been a while, maybe since you've logged in, you can also pretty soon you'll be able to decide if you land on the home page at first when you log in or if you land on the client's page. But the home page is really nice to kind of draw your attention to anything that may need your eyeballs, right? Maybe you have some customers with documents that are due. Maybe you have, you can see here, I need to reintegrate my FFM account, right? No problem. I can go ahead and extend that. It'll bot me over to the CMS portal. Maybe there's some cool news. Maybe we've got some new webinars coming up that you want to take a look at. So it's a nice place to start to kind of keep everything all in one place. The next page here are clients. Okay, I'm going to click into clients. So clients versus leads, while that's loading, I just want to talk to you about the difference here. So the way Health Sherpa defines a client is someone who has submitted their subsidy application and they've chosen their plan. Those are clients. You're often helping these folks effectuate. Maybe they need to submit documents to, follow up on a certain verification item. Maybe they need to make their binder payment. Those are clients. A lead is someone who perhaps has started a subsidy application or perhaps has started their plan shopping, but they haven't actually finalized one or both of those pieces. So a lead is actually someone you're still kind of chasing that business to make sure they get everything chosen, right, and submitted initially, at least within that enrollment period that they're within. So talking first here about clients, you'll see that as you get to writing, you'll have all of your different clients listed out here. Now, as I get more and more clients too, I don't have to cruise through all these different pages of clients. I also have this nice little search bar. I can simply type in a customer's name and my view will change to now only show me customers that match that client's name. So it's a nice way to kind of save you time. Hovering over this little help feature here, you can see you can also search by phone number, FFM ID, that's a huge one, or the last four of the social. So again, really nice thing to kind of keep everything together with very limited PII ever leaving the database. You can also see here you've got several different filters. So as I start writing, I can filter by my writing state. I also can sort by documents. Now, the reason this document one is super cool is it allows me to see documents in real-time document statuses. Meaning, if my consumer has submitted a document and it got kicked out for some reason, I will see a document status of insufficient. This is super helpful because it helps me see, oh, I've got to follow up to that customer, might be a quick phone call, maybe they submitted, the wrong type of document for something. Perhaps someone hasn't submitted anything at all yet, right? They have action needed. Maybe I can follow up that person, remind them, hey, your deadline's coming up, right? So it's a nice way to kind of understand where my customers are. Perhaps they've completed their documents and we're good to go. They may have effectuated. So really nice way to kind of plan your year, plan your time. You can also archive consumers. So where this comes in really handy is, let's say I know a consumer has gone on to group coverage or maybe moved out of a state that I'm licensed within. I can certainly just archive all of them. I can archive a certain group, multiple people, whatever I'd like to do. And it just kind of takes them out of this non-archived view so that I'm always looking at my most recent book of business. So it's a nice way to kind of keep it fresh. I can also import customers and export customers if I need to. We're going to actually also talk about the client details page after we complete an application together, but you can get into the client details page just by selecting a customer's name. You'll also notice you have these little up and down carrots, so anytime you have that, you can use those sorting menus. We're not going to get into all the little tabs today in HealthSherpa One-on-One, but we do have other trainings where we can dig into a lot of these other items. So feel free to hop into one of our upcoming sessions if you'd like to learn more about those. We also have help articles tagged within each of these tabs if you'd like to learn more. Moving on to our leads page. A quick reminder too, I see a few more folks have been able to join today. You will get a copy of today's presentation. You can slow it down, you can speed it up, you can hop to different chapters as you see fit. So be sure to post any questions that you may have into the Q&A feature of today's webinar. Okay, our leads table, you're going to notice that this page works really similarly, right? You have really similar filters available. The cool thing I think about the leads page is the status column. Now, the reason this is awesome to me is whenever I follow up with my consumers or my consumers follow up with me, it gives me a quick rundown of exactly where we last left off. This person was actually applying for subsidy dollars. Okay, maybe when we connect or last connected, they had some questions that, maybe I can have some resources from irs.gov pulled up when we chat again. They're actually applying for their subsidy. This person was shopping. Okay, well, maybe I need to have a little bit more time set aside to discuss with this consumer, maybe a little bit about their needs. Maybe they're confused about a deductible or an out-of-pocket maximum. If you're yourself confused about those terms, don't panic. We actually have a training coming up. We'll announce in our upcoming newsletter that'll help you kind of drill down into some of these really selling ACA plan type terminologies to help you better understand how to help your consumer. And then this person here, I see, oh gosh, they're just confirming. When we go through the application together momentarily, you'll see, good gracious, they are almost at the end. They might even think they're done. So this could be a real phone, real quick phone call. If you last left off with them at this stage, or if they last left off on their own. And we'll talk about how they can do that solo as well. So really cool leads page for you here. Moving on to the exports page, we're just going to talk about it quickly here. We do have several different reporting features available within this exports page. Feel free to learn more by clicking into these little help articles. You can also view an export history if you've pulled any. A lot of times, the link that comes over into your email whenever you request an export, it's only good for a certain amount of time. So we've actually added this exports history so you can actually just pop in here and download any export that you may have requested. So if you do have any questions, again, feel free to learn more by popping into the article. Insights, it's nice. It's just kind of a page that gives you a rundown of your activity within your HealthSherpa account. It does include a dynamic date range. So if this is ever helpful for you, feel free to pop in. The bonuses page. Now, we spoke already about the HealthSherpa referral program, which you'll notice lives here, right here, under the bonuses. Okay, let me click here so that goes away. Okay. It's not going to go away. So sorry, just bear with us about the green thing. But you'll notice the referrals program does live here under the bonuses page, but we also have several programs available within this tab. So feel free to just explore these as you'd like. I'll click into these so you can briefly see them. These are all totally optional. You can opt in or leave them how they are. But the referrals page also includes, again, this program details help article. That's going to link you to the same article that we included in our slide deck. And it also gives you a few tips for what you may need to get paid. You can turn your referral settings on or off. And you can also track any applications that you may have submitted as referrals down below. And then, of course, track your payment status. Let's talk quickly about the marketing page. Now, this is actually one of my favorite things. So when you create a HealthSherpa for Agents account, you also get access to your own branded enrollment website. It lives right here within the marketing page. We love this feature because it gives your clients the opportunity to self-enroll. It saves you time to focus on other parts of your business. All applications submitted through your marketing enrollment website are also going to have your NPN attached or follow your referral settings that you've selected. So it's a great tool for marketing and promotion. Definitely pop into this page to play around and explore all that the tool can do. I'm going to show you quickly what it looks like. So I'm just going to copy this link down here. I can come up with different campaigns as well. If you want to learn more about generating new campaigns, you can learn more right there. I'm just going to pop it into a new tab for you so you can see what it looks like. It's a nice professional marketing page, right? If my consumer keys in a zip code, they can actually see plans and prices. But if they key in an email or a phone number, let me rephrase. As soon as they key in an email or a phone number, you get a lead. This means that when you're done helping your customer, you can say, hey, customer, if I've been helpful for you today, give my name and number to your neighbor. Let me help them. If there's anyone else, ask for referrals, right? Pop this link into your auto signature, into your socials, generate different campaigns so you can track who's clicking on it from where if you want to. It's a really nice way to grow your book of business with not as much legwork as that typically involves. So be sure to pop into the marketing page and learn more about that. You can also brand it. So you can update the company name, phone number, you can change up the photos, you can upload a logo if you'd like. So it's a nice way to kind of keep it customized to you. And then, of course, our settings page. So settings is where you are also going to extend your FFM account integration anytime you need to. You always want to make sure this data here matches your information. If it ever reflects someone else, you have goofed, right? So please contact agent support for help in fixing that today. And if you do need to join an agency, you can enter their join code here. So if you meant to do that during account creation, or maybe since you've created your account, you've joined an agency, you can go ahead and add their join code. I do see a couple agents with their hands raised. We're not going to do hand raises today, but if you do have questions, feel free to pop them into the Q&A feature of today's webinar. Okay, there's also a help article, by the way, regarding our agency features. So if you are an agency administrator, or if you want to learn more about those, just hop over to our help center and type in agency, and the article will be one of the first hits. Okay, scrolling back to the top, we're going to go into our quoter. I'm going to click right here onto quote, the button on the right. Now, what I think is cool about the quoter is it's dynamic. What in the world do I mean by that? So depending on the info that I give the quoter, I will have different results populate. So you see plan results are populating down below. It also is going to affect my estimated eligibility, subsidy eligibility. So all of this is a dynamic quoting tool. If I were to type in, for example, 45,000, look, my eligibility results are going to change. So it's a nice way to make sure that everything is staying as accurate as possible during the quoting process. The other thing that I think is cool with the quoter is it reminds me of certain things along the way. For example, subsidies. We know that there are two types of subsidies, right? There's the advanced premium tax credit. This is the amount that can go toward the monthly premium. And then there is the cost sharing reduction. These are the dollars that actually, the discounts rather, that lower those out of pocket expenses. So when the consumer goes to actually use the plan, it's a little bit more affordable for them to use. Now, granted, the cost share reduction only good on silver plans, but these tooltips, they help me remember that, right? I can see these dashes under the words. So I know that if I hover, it'll, number one, jog my memory. And even visually, I can say, oh, that's right, there's two kinds, right? So, and again, if I change this to 45,000, I see, okay, they're not eligible for cost share reduction, likely, but they may still be able to take advantage of those advanced premium tax credits. So again, it's a nice way to let the system kind of take some of the pressure off of me. We also are dynamic in that we're able to save you clicks. This is one of the ways we save you time. So for example, watch what happens to the pregnancy question if I toggle the gender to male. It goes away, right? So we're able to save you clicks by saving you, by taking the information you're giving us and going ahead and filling in some of the subsequent questions for you. You'll also see tooltips in this fashion with the little question mark in the circle. So if you click on those anytime, you'll get a similar tooltip as when you hover over the words with the dashes under them. Sometimes it's also helpful to let the platform be the bad guy. I don't know about y'all, but getting folks to answer tobacco usage questions is a little sticky sometimes. Hover and say, hey, customer, I'm your licensed agent, right? I'm here to work on your behalf. I'm not here to answer questions for you, right? How do you want to attest to this on your application? So it's a nice way to kind of put the onus back on the applicant. If there are multiple folks actually applying for coverage, maybe it's a spouse and a dependent, you'll add those people here. If there's actually more than 3 people, though, in the household, maybe there's 3 people applying for coverage, but there's 5 people in their tax household, this is how you would list that out. We do have another webinar where we actually dig into the quoter a lot deeper. So if you do want to learn more about the quoter, feel free to pop into one of those trainings. A quick high level of some of the plan filters that are available to you here. One thing that I really like, I'm going to scroll down, is the metal level. So again, if I know my consumer is cost share reduction eligible, I share that with them, right? I educate them a bit. And then I can maybe even start by silver filter, right? So that I know, hey, this is going to be the lowest cost share for my consumer when they go to use the policy. I can also make sure I'll take that off for a moment. To shop in a way that prioritizes something they need, right? If they tell me, hey, Amber, I'm really curious to see whether or not a provider is a network. Great. They say it's this one. Okay, wonderful. I add that. I can actually see on all the plan cards, there's 115 plans, whether or not the provider takes the plan or doesn't take the plan. If they say, honestly, though, I'm not just curious, it's kind of a deal breaker provider for me. So I need to look at plans where that provider's a network. Great. Click the button, little checkbox, and now the view will change. Now you're only going to see plans where that provider is in network. You can see we have a much smaller number of plans available than we had before. So it's a nice way, again, to just prioritize shopping based on whatever your consumer needs. Same thing with medications. You can add whatever medicine your consumer needs into the field. You can adjust the dosage if they maybe take a different one. And same thing, it'll show you whether or not that medication is at least considered part of the formulary, right? And then kind of what that plan payment would look like. So helpful way to shop in by really prioritizing their needs. Again, hop into one of our upcoming sessions if you'd like to learn more about this. You can also dig into the plan card. So I'm going to open this in a new link for you so you can see what this looks like. The plan card's a nice way to dig into a plan a little bit more. So if they have a specific question, maybe about doctor's visits, you can actually dig in and share with them as much info as you need, both in network and out of network. So again, nice way to really make sure you're setting accurate expectations. You can also compare up to 5 plans at a time. So if you'd like to do that, you can. Anytime you'd like to, you can also share this link with your consumer. If I share from here versus sharing from the plan comparison page, it'll actually share the page rather that I click share from. So it's really nice if you are on the compare page, for example, if you're dealing with kind of a more visual learner for your consumer, maybe you want to go ahead and share that. And that way they can look at these plans along with you. Okay, we are going to hop into the application. So I'm going to click back into the dashboard. Keep in mind, team, that today is just a high-level overview of everything that we offer within the platform. So if there's anything you want to dig into further, feel free to pop into one of our upcoming webinars, or when we send out today's training, feel free to slow it down, speed it up, hop to certain chapters as you'd like. So start application and search marketplace. I'm going to show you how these are both pretty much the same. So first thing I'm going to do is click on search marketplace. First thing it's going to have me do is type in first name, last name, and a birthday, pick a state, acknowledge I have consent to even search for the consumer on the marketplace, right? If I go back into the dashboard and I click on, oh, we're slowing down, start application, I have the exact same filters, right? The exact same menu here. So it doesn't really matter which of these two you click on, whichever one you prefer is totally okay. So today we are going to go ahead and do, good gracious, I don't know, remote control. We're going to do Georgia today. Actually, we're going to do Florida today. Now, initial consent. Okay, we know that there are two different pieces of consent, right? There's initial consent and then there's enrollment review consent. It's really a two-parter. This box is really nice because it's this initial acknowledgement of consent. It's saying, hey, reminder, you do need consent to even search the marketplace for this consumer. So if you have that, you can go ahead and check the box. If you need to download a consent form, you can do that. If you're not sure at all what we're talking about when we're saying, consent is required, pop into our consent webinar. It's upcoming, and you can learn more about that. So we're going to search the marketplace for this consumer. Shockingly, they do not exist. So we are going to create a new application. If they did exist, I would be able to grab one of these existing applications. I don't have to duplicate all these applications and create new ones all the time. We're just doing that today so you can kind of see the process from top to bottom. So now we've got some privacy statements we would, of course, read through and agree to. Now, we have the ability to upload this initial consent into HealthSherpa if I would like. Perhaps I already have the initial consent in my own records. Maybe I'd love to actually email this digital consent form to my consumer so that there's proof of this consent out there. Really, whatever works better for you and your consumer, you can do. If you'd like to learn more about any of these flows, feel free to hop into our help center, type in consent, and you can learn more or pop into one of our upcoming consent webinars. Okay. If my consumer truly doesn't have a social, I do have the opportunity to say that, right? They're going to be able to prove their eligibility to enroll in this coverage a variety of other ways, right? Maybe there's a refugee number that they have, immigration forms, whatever the case may be. If they're just kind of not wanting to give you their social, it's not an optional field. So please let them know they are going to need to provide that. Where do we do? Okay. If we're in multiple counties, we can click in here. If our mailing address is different, we can add another. So yep, the address is correct. Email address is optional, but it is strongly encouraged. Of course, the more info you can provide on an application, the better. Different phone types, different languages. Okay, we're going to do paper notices in the mail. We're going to sync up with the marketplace. Now, if remote control is not actually applying for coverage, maybe this is a child-only application, I'm going to go ahead and come down here and hit add another person. Maybe it's kiddo 1. Okay. If kiddo 1 is the person applying for coverage, what year are we in? Gracious, 20, let's say 14. Look at this relationship to you field, by the way. This is one of the ways we're able to help with almost all household circumstances. Other unrelated, other relative, I mean, that is really all encompassing, right? So we can go ahead and save this person if we'd like. So if remote control is not applying, it's just a child-only plan or someone else in the household, I would just hit no here. That's how I would do that child-only app. Let's say also, we're gonna remove kiddo 1 for today. If remote control says, hey, I don't really think I'm subsidy eligible, I don't want subsidy dollars, I don't even think I qualify, that's fine. Can I still buy an on marketplace plan? The answer is yes. All you would do is at this question, just hit no. That's it. They don't have to be subsidy eligible and they don't have to seek subsidy dollars in order to apply for on marketplace plans. So just keep that in mind. You're eligible, you're able to shop for your consumer however they would like. Okay, taking the happy path here today. I'm going to go through. So we're not married. We do plan to file taxes. If we said yes here, yes, we're going to claim dependents, it'd say, great, is it kiddo 1 or is it someone else, right? So we don't have to rekey all of that information. The platform will remember it for us. We won't be claimed as a tax dependent by anyone. We don't live with anyone under the age of 19, so no. Now, at this point, hopefully this will become super helpful for you. If your consumer at this point says, nope, I don't have a social, okay. Consumer, do you attest that you really don't have a social? You've never been issued a social. If they say, yes, I attest, great. Heads up, you're going to have some homework. Applicants without a social are required to upload documents that prove citizenship, immigration status, or income. So hopefully this will be a tool in your back pocket to not only push back on some of those clients that maybe just are hesitant to provide a social and educate the ones who perhaps do not have one on what to kind of expect next. Okay, how we use tobacco, we're going to say no. Yes, we're a US citizen. You see, we do have tooltips here, right? So at any point I can click over these. I do have my tooltip. Not currently incarcerated. American Indian and Alaska Native status, this has a direct impact on subsidy eligibility and special enrollment periods that a consumer may be eligible for. So just as you would for any question on the application, make sure that your consumers are always answering these as accurately as possible. This next group of questions regarding race, ethnicity, sexual assignment, gender identity, and sexual orientation, they do all have iterations of decline to answer options. However, CMS is really trying to focus on health equity. So if you can ever provide answers to these questions on behalf of your consumers, go ahead and do that. A quick call out on the left, it kind of looks like I'm duplicating my customer, right? But I'm not, I'm just actually onto a second page of questions. Okay, so we're not naturalized or derived citizen. Now on to the income. So what's cool about income is we all know, right, as licensed agents, there's a whole long list of income to include, stuff to exclude. What am I, how am I supposed to remember that? The nice thing is we actually just include the list of acceptable income here. I'm going to click on this drop down caret. You can learn about what to include, what to exclude, how to report certain types of income. So it's really nice that it all just lives right here in the platform for you anytime that resource may be handy. So we're going to say yes, remote control does get income. Look at all these different income types, by the way. So many. And also my favorite category, other, right? So it really is kind of all encompassing. Say a job, the planet. And the other nice thing here is when you're entering an income, let's say your consumer has no idea what they earn annually, right? They say, honestly, Amber, I work hourly, I work 40 hours a week, I earn $15 an hour. You don't have to do fast math. You can just key it into the computer exactly as the consumer is giving it to you. So just keep that in mind. We're going to take the happy path today and hit save. I can edit this, remove it, add additional sources of income, whatever my customer needs. We don't have any deductions. We'll say no there. So yep, all that looks correct. My income looks to be about 35,000. Now with the additional questions section, the way this works is if the answer is yes, you check the box. If the answer is no, or I don't want to talk about it, you see some of these are optional, leave the box alone. Okay, so we don't need any extra help, right? We don't have any disabilities, mental health conditions that limit ability to work. Don't need any help with daily activities, so we're going to leave those boxes alone. Does anybody have Medicaid or CHIP? Maybe that's ending within a certain time range. These are actually dynamic date ranges. They're looking at today's date. Today is June 18th, and they're calculating the potential special enrollment period that this consumer is eligible for. So if these dates are ever useful for you, just lean on those calculations. If I select yes here, you'll see I get follow-up questions. Okay, if they're recently found ineligible, you'll have a question about that. Are we currently enrolled in coverage? Yes. Well, wouldn't you know it, it is actually going to end before the 17th of August. Now, if we need any information about health reimbursement arrangements, HRAs, ICRAs, QuSARAs, you may have heard them talked about, you can go ahead and request that info here. Are we going to be offered coverage through a job? If we said yes, you'll notice we get additional options here. I'm going to take the happy path today. Okay, so upcoming changes. I don't know why my dog barked. Sorry if y'all heard that. Will anyone lose qualifying coverage before the 17th of August? We're going to say yes here. And we're going to say they're actually going to be losing coverage on the 5th. Now, if there's any additional changes going on, maybe they also got married. They've also moved. They've also adopted a child. You always want to answer these as accurately, as completely as possible. Each of these may trigger different special enrollment periods. So you always want to make sure and answer these completely. Okay, again, if they've been offered ICRA or QuSARA, you can check yes here. These will all be calculated in to their subsidy eligibility. And then we're already to our finalized page. Okay, so you'll review this with your consumer. You can pop into sections and edit those if needed. And hit continue. Just close my door. Okay, sorry about that. And then we have our finalize agreement section. So of course, we know that we have the option of letting the marketplace go ahead and renew the subsidy app, or if they'd like to manually do that, they can just disagree to this. But keep in mind, this is related to their actual subsidy eligibility, not their plan crosswalking over to a new plan annually. So just bear in mind right now, we're only in the subsidy application. Okay, tax attestation, course I need to file, something changes, I need to tell somebody about it. Please be sure and read these to your consumer. Do not provide them with the summaries I'm giving you. And then, of course, these sign and submit. So again, we know Marketplace, Medicaid, Medicare, everybody chats, so I'm okay with that. And because I've already said that I have my consumer's consent to work on their behalf, I can go ahead and type in their name to electronically agree. We will get our subsidy eligibility. And then we will be able to pick a plan. Now, what's cool about this next page is it gives me an opportunity to download the eligibility results. You'll see that momentarily. It also goes ahead and gives me a breakdown of exactly what the consumer may be eligible for, whether it's cost share reduction. You can see that here, right? You can see whether or not they're eligible for a tax credit, right? This is this total advanced premium tax credit, right? You can also notice, okay, they've got lots of follow-ups, right? We didn't include a social, so we knew this was coming, but it's going to give me a high level of exactly what their follow-ups will be. And then, of course, it'll confirm, yep, we're eligible to enroll via a special enrollment period. If you do want to learn more about special enrollment periods, again, feel free to hop into one of our upcoming sessions or pop into our help article to learn more about that. Okay, so we're going to download our letter, and then we can choose a marketplace plan. You also have the ability to put folks within one subsidy application on different health plans if you need to. So if you ever have questions about that, again, check out our help articles on split policies or reach out to agent support. Okay, so we're back to our plan results page. Now, you already saw this page, right? We saw it when we were talking about the quoter. So now we're just looking at a much more exact eligibility result, right? Primarily because we've already done our subsidy application. So we know our consumer is cost share reduction eligible. So we're discussing the consumer's needs and we land on definitely let's go with a silver plan. And then the consumer says, okay, great, it's this plan that really works best for me. If I'd like to keep shopping, I can go ahead and add an on-marketplace dental plan for them as well. Maybe they say this one works best. We'll hit continue. And now we are on our confirmation page. Now, think back on our leads page. Remember somebody was just confirming? This is where they were. This is how far along they got, right? So this is also the page where if the consumer does not want to use all of their advanced premium tax credits, they don't have to. Oftentimes, customers are doing their best, right, to estimate what their income is for the year. They don't want to be at risk of paying those dollars back, some consumers, right? So maybe they just want to use, like, I don't know, $198 of it. They don't have to use all of it. It can be an odd number. Whatever they want to do here is okay. They can choose zero if they want. Whatever they need, they can choose. Now we are to our enrollment review consent, right? So this is step 2 of consent here. If you would like to email enrollment review to your consumer, again, you can do that. You can upload proof to HealthSherpa. Perhaps you already have proof in your own records. Whatever you want to do here, you can. We're going to enroll in this plan. And then we are going to be pushed into our dashboard. And we're actually going to take a quick look together at our client details page. We talked about that briefly. I'm going to click here to go to my dashboard. We talked about that briefly when we were reviewing the client details page, but now you'll see we're actually in it, right? So when this page loads, you're going to have all of the follow-up items itemized for you. These are really nice post-enrollment tools that are really great to help you manage these effectuations. So again, you've got this follow-up section up here. If I click into a specific follow-up item, okay, so I'm clicking in to verify loss of coverage. When this follow-up item loads, it's really nice that it actually includes all the different documents available to verify this specific item I've clicked into. We all know that to verify these items, there's like 17 different lists of acceptable documents. They all change depending on the item you need to verify. So the fact that this list, I'm just going to click the drop-down caret, lives here is really helpful. You don't have to go hunting and fishing for a bunch of different lists. So you can select your document type, select the file, and upload. If your consumer has included an email on their application, they also will get an email saying, hey, create a password, and you can go ahead and access this page on your own. Their page literally looks exactly like this. So they can upload their own documents if you'd like. They can access their own application information anytime they have questions. They can even view their plan details. So they don't have to pester you, right, every Wednesday when they forget what copay they selected, right? They can actually just log in and view their plan details here. You can also view plan history. So I can see if any changes have been made within that application. Perhaps different agent of records are listed each time. I can see the agent of record currently listed in application. I see enrollment history here. Let's talk about consent though within your dashboard. So let's say that initially you said, hey, I'm going to store it in my own records, this proof of consent. And then later you say, you know what, honestly, it's kind of just nicer if HealthSherpa stores it for me. Everything lives here. It's so much easier to just, track down everything when I'm looking for it. You can go ahead and upload it to your dashboard after the fact anytime you'd like. You can also mark it as revoked if maybe you know you no longer have your consumer's consent, just to kind of, again, help streamline all of your information data. If you've emailed the consent to your consumer, maybe they've lost the email, or oftentimes with that enrollment review consent, it comes with like a special passcode they have to enter to protect their PII, just as a failsafe. If they lose that, that's okay. You can just generate a whole new email to them. You'll do that here. So really nice that consent lives right within your dashboard. And then, of course, marketplace notices. So again, if my consumer has submitted something and it's gotten rejected, I'm going to get a notice about it and I can see exactly why it got rejected. Those 1095A forms, they live here. So it's nice to know everything just lives together. You also have, scrolling to the top here, a whole household profile view. I'm going to click on the question mark. You can find details for, the primary applicant, all of the members of the tax household, all from their most recently submitted apps. So any other applications as well that are found that just kind of relate to the tax household, we look at email and phone number and kind of pop them all here for you, again, just to keep everything together. And then you can also make some notes to yourself. So, hello. Anytime I add a note, it gets a nice date, and then we can add more notes. So this is really nice as well, to keep track of different things your customer may share with you. Maybe they do travel a lot, or they go to the doctor often. Maybe it's a certain condition that they treat. So maybe there are certain notes that you want to leave yourself for the next time you help this consumer, so they can all kind of live here together. Great. That is the application within HealthSherpa. So we are going to get out of this full screen and finish up by talking about some resources that you have available. Now, again, in the top right corner of your dash, there was a little circle, the question mark inside. We've talked about this before, but just to really, give you a slide that drills into that, you've got several options there. So the Help Center, what's new, is really just like a product log, any new updates and releases we've made in the platform. Again, you have our Help Center. That is really just a list of frequently asked questions. You can filter by searching, lots of great help articles there. And then mostly, very important, the contact info for agent support. Let's talk about that a little deeper. Anytime you have questions, if it's about a particular feature, if you need to report a technical issue, call us, send us an email, chat with us directly from your dashboard. Agent support's phone number is also listed just on our main HealthSherpa website. And our hours are typically extended during open enrollment. So you can always see our current hours just by visiting your dashboard. But if you're not sure, give us a buzz, and we will help you any way we can. We've also tagged a few common agent questions here, just for your reference if you need them. And then I will also launch one additional poll here in a bit. If you'd like to participate, it's totally optional. Grab that. We'll do this guy. There you go. Again, completely optional. And now we're going to open it up to questions and answers. So I see Niharika has answered almost everything. Thank you so much for all of your help. Okay, let's see. What is a special enrollment period? Oh, that's a great one. May I have more information on that? You absolutely may. I'm going to show you actually how to find that. Okay, so right from your dashboard, we'll make this larger again. I'm going to go back to the dashboard, so that we can get to the Help Center. I'm going to come to the question mark with the circle and click on Help Center. Special enrollment. I can also type in SEP, by the way, and that's fine. So you'll see there's just an article that actually walks you through it. So what special enrollments are is they're just different time periods when customers can apply for coverage or change their plans, basically often due to different qualifying life events. Maybe they've moved, maybe their income is within a certain range, maybe their household has changed, right? They've had a child or adopted a child. Lots of different reasons exist. So if you ever want to learn more about special enrollment periods, pop into this help article to learn as much as you'd like. Really great question. Also, quick time check. We do have 4 minutes left. Any questions we don't get to, we will provide you with an answer when we send out a copy of the Q&A discussion. So please just submit. If we don't get you an answer, we will follow up. Okay, I don't see any other questions popping in just yet. So for anyone who does not have any other questions, I will leave you on our most important slide for any of our trainings. Thank you all so much for joining our HealthSherpa one-on-one training today. Again, I'm Amber. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to agent support. We are happy to help however we can. If you have questions, stay on, pop them in the chat. If you do not have any questions, feel free to leave us. But thank you again. Agent who's asked if we're going to send the slides, yes, we are going to send out a copy of today's training, including the slide deck. I'm going to actually type the rest of these too in case people hop off. The agent who is asking, if you get a policy selected for a carrier you are not contracted with, how do you proceed? I believe you're asking about the referrals program, so I'll go ahead and type that answer into the chat. Really great question. Agent who is asking about enabling EDE, I see Niharika is typing the answer to you. You can go ahead and reach out to agent support and they'll be able to help you with that in real time. This training will be emailed. A copy of the training, the recording, the deck, and the Q&A responses will all be shared. Okay, with 1 minute left, we will let you all go. Thank you so much for your time.